Are you looking for something a little bit bigger than a portable speaker but a little bit smaller than a full-size boombox? Well, this might be the perfect thing for you, the JBL PartyBox Encore. Today we're going to be checking it out and seeing what it is, who it's for, and if I think you should get one. All of that soon to come, but if you guys could please like and subscribe, that would really help me out as a small creator. I'm trying to make it 2,000 subscribers and everyone helps. And also I do feel like I gotta put out there that I didn't pay for this. It was sent to me for review by JBL. That won't impact what I say in any way, but I feel like I gotta put that out there. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so let's get into this. What even is this thing? This is basically an oversized portable speaker. It puts out 100 watts of power and it's completely battery powered. It runs for about 6 hours on battery and it's like IPX4 splash proof. So it's somewhat rugged, but you can't go dunk it in the ocean, for instance. Overall, it's basically just a portable boombox and it puts out a lot of power. If you're going to the beach, you could definitely take this thing along and you could hear it easily over anything else out there. I will say it is a bit heavy. It weighs in about 14.2 pounds, so you're not gonna be lugging it very far, but it is pretty portable and it's got a huge battery life and a USB thing on the back so you can charge up your phone if you want to. That's pretty much what it is. But let's get into the really important part. How does it sound? And to start off with, it sounds amazing. It should, being that it's so much bigger and heavier than like any other portable speakers really. It's pretty much in a separate class of products. But it is small enough that you could technically bring it with you anywhere you'd want to go. So as for the actual speaker quality, it does sound really good. It has a huge range of bass and you can feel a full sound, even in outdoor areas when normal speakers sound a lot thinner and tinny. This thing, you can still feel the bass, and it does have the option to augment the bass with bass boost, which I'll get into a little bit more later. But overall, it does sound really full and has 2 tweeters and a full-size woofer in the center. So it is a solid sound you get out of this thing, and it's actually really surprising for how tiny the thing is. It can actually be even a little bit overpowering with bass boost on in certain areas, like in smaller rooms. But for most areas, all you're gonna get is just an amazingly full sound. And if you're into bass, the bass boost really does make it sound a lot fuller and thicker. And you can like feel the sub, which is actually, it's just so surprising from something so tiny. Okay, so now that we got into how it sounds, let's check out the defining characteristic of the full version versus the essential version. Just a quick disclaimer, basically the essential version is just this without the microphones, and then the full version is just like barely labeled any differently, which I think they could definitely do better. But it basically includes 2 fully wireless microphones, and they're actually pretty great to use. You can adjust the treble and bass on them with independent physical knobs on the speaker itself, and you can also apply an echo effect if that's what you're into. I don't really see a purpose to it, but you know what? It's there and I can't really knock an extra feature I don't have a use for. The quality of the microphones themselves are actually really surprisingly nice. They're entirely metal framed except for the plastic button there, and they just feel very thick and solid. They are AA powered, so that's unfortunate because they aren't rechargeable, but that's really the only gripe I have with them. It's also really nice, the software itself, because it does a great job of reducing feedback loops. So even if you're standing in front of the microphone talking into it, it does a really great job of not having it do that thing where it like cycles through itself and then makes a really high pitched sound. As well, you can use both the microphones in tandem, which is nice. The only downside I will say is that if you were to link this up with another JBL PartyBox item like that, if you use the TWS feature, it links the sounds together, but unfortunately the microphones don't go through that system. So the microphone sound only comes out of one of the speakers, like the PartyBox speaker, and not the other one. Even if the audio playing on them is simultaneously synced up, the microphone sound itself is not synced up, which is really unfortunate. You also can't sync these microphones to a speaker like that, or at least I couldn't get it to work. I'm sure that can be handled in software, but that's just something else to note. Don't think that just because you get the PartyBox speaker microphones from this one, that they'll be able to work over there too.
Testing. This is a test of the PartyBox Encore microphone setup.
But yeah, overall you can see the microphones, I mean, they do a really great job. And if you're trying to like talk to an audience or something like that, it definitely does a great job of amplifying your voice and people can hear you very clearly. So it's a really cool feature. It is an extra $100 premium though, so I don't really know if it's worth it because I don't have a use for those microphones. But for someone who's like trying to like talk to audiences or something like that, I think it'd be a great use. And that brings us neatly into who is this thing even for? Okay, so I think that this thing would be great for a variety of people. Top use case I could see would be like maybe a patio party or something like that, or using it inside for a house party. It does a great job and it would do way better than like a JBL charge, for instance, in filling a room with sound. You probably will piss off your neighbors if you live in an apartment or something like that, but as long as that's not a concern, I think it does a great job of just providing a full sound in an enclosed space or an open space. It's just so much more full and better than like something like JBL charge would be, or something of that caliber. It's just something that small just can't move enough air to provide the quality of sound that this thing can. I think also people who do like small events or something outside, like I could definitely see like a camp counselor or someone having like music playing on it, and then when they want to like bring the kids in, they hop on the microphone and be like, yo, so everyone, it's time to come in. Something like that would be perfect. I also think small kids who want to do karaoke, this thing would be great for. I don't know if I'd want to hear that, but if that's what you're looking for, I think it'd do a great job. Other than that, there's just some other cool features I do want to point out. So it does actually come with an included app, and you can pretty much do whatever you'd want to do with the speaker. You can change the frequency response on the low, mids, and highs. So if you want to have a special curve, you can't. It's not that definable, but it does allow you some extra control, which is nice. You can also change the lighting effects and be very granular with them, if that's something you're interested in. I just have it running default ones, but you can actually just, this button on top, you can just cycle through them also. Also, the app allows you to change all of the microphone controls. So if you're trying to do it remotely for some reason, you can do that. And you can adjust the bass boost from deep to punchy. That's something I did want to get into, because deep definitely is more of like a thick sound, and then punchy does exactly what it sounds like. It just makes like bass drums and stuff hit harder, but it doesn't just boost the bass and that's all it does. It's dynamic sound. It's really hard to describe, but I think they did a really good job with it. I will say it is a little bit overpowering in smaller spaces, but in open spaces, it's way nicer and it's a good feature. Last thing I want to mention, the TWS button. It allows you to sync up multiple PartyBox speakers and have them all play simultaneously. I think that that is a really cool feature, and it works out so nice. It definitely, like, it's in sync. The audio, you don't have to worry about latency or anything like that. The music sounds synced perfectly. I will say that it doesn't necessarily, like, the volume sometimes gets out of sync. If you adjust it on one and not the other, it can be weird. But other than that, that's kind of the only issue I have. Other than you can't, if you want to do left-right stereo separation, you can't assign like a PartyBox Encore to left and then a PartyBox 710 to right. So they have to be synced up and matching, which, I mean, makes sense if you want the audio to sound correctly. But if they at least let you override it, that would have been a nice feature. The other thing I want to point out is you can actually just plug an analog system into this and play through there. No, that's pretty much all I have to say on this thing. It's a really great product. It's really high quality. It feels durable. The microphones feel durable. Everything feels very quality. And for $400, it really should, because that's an expensive price. And you can get something that probably does this as well for a cheaper price. I'm not really in the market for this thing, so I haven't like done a ton of research and like used a ton of other ones. But I've looked into a lot of them online, and a lot of them seem like either cheaper but lower quality, or probably around the same price for this thing. But there just isn't a ton of stuff out there that's too similar that gives you the same variety of abilities and quality for the price. So I think that if this is something you're in the market for, you should definitely pick one up, but just be aware that it is kind of heavy, so if you're going to try to trek too far with it, you might want to avoid that. That's pretty much all I have to say today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys could please like and subscribe, that would really help me out as always. But yeah, that's pretty much it, so thank you for watching.